Everybody that invests in crypto wishes they knew which projects would take off and make them a lot of money. Today, we're going to be looking at some projects and trying to help y'all understand some of the characteristics you can look for before you invest.
Crypto Decrypted.
Now, before we dive into the meat and potatoes of today's episode, I do want to remind y'all this is not financial advice and should not be considered as such. This is just my personal opinion, and I'm giving you some ideas based on what I see in the market. Now, today we're going to be looking specifically at layer one blockchain projects. For those of you who don't know, let me give you a quick recap on what those are. So think of layer one blockchain projects as kind of the foundation, right? When you're building a house, you first need to build a foundation. And that's all a layer one blockchain project is. It's that background code that you're never going to see or interact with. Okay, think of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those are two of the most prominent layer one projects out there. Now, up first, I want to talk about a hyped up project that fell a little short. Not to say it couldn't still do well in the future, but thus far hasn't really done much at all. That project is Cardano. Now, let's just talk about some of the characteristics of Cardano. First off, its consensus mechanism is proof of stake. It looks at evidence-based development rather than theoretical, and it wants to be both the most secure and stable blockchain out there. Not to mention it's environmentally sound, doesn't make too much of an environmental impact, actually the lowest out of all blockchains, and it does have a capped supply, so there can only be 45 billion Cardano ever. Now, to date, Cardano has gone up about 20 times since its initial launch. It's currently trading at just under 50 cents as of the time I am recording this video. And a lot of you may think, well, that's a really good return, and it is. But you have to remember, this is a project that was both overhyped and didn't live up to its expectation. And the reason I say that is the better part of the last 2 years, starting in 2020, all the way through 2021 and up until the early parts of 2022, numerous major figures in the space, influencers, investors, were all banking on Cardano exploding. A lot of its marketing was trying to call it the better Ethereum. It was supposed to go from about $3, where it sat most of the time, to over $1,000, and it was about to take off to the moon. But why didn't it take off? Well, the answer is simple to that, actually. Didn't really have many users. A lot of people were buying into it and investing in it, but they weren't using it. And to really just be brutally honest here, there was no value in choosing to use its decentralized applications over others. While it is the most environmentally sound blockchain project out there, and while it is aiming to be the most secure and stable, and by some metrics it is already, a lot of crypto users just, quite frankly, don't care about that. They may talk about it, but you got to put your money where your mouth is, and people weren't putting their money into Cardano. And as a result, we've seen a lot of liquidations and a lot of large holders move away from it. But enough of the doom and gloom. Next, we're going to be talking about a project that has, for the most part, lived up to its hype and become very popular with the wider crypto community as a whole. And that project is Solana. Now, Solana, like Cardano, also uses proof of stake as its consensus mechanism. It's smart contract enabled, and it's incredibly fast. I mean, it can process, in theory, up to 65,000 transactions a second. Just to put that in perspective, some of the largest credit card companies in the world, so the companies that have and handle the most transactions per second, usually only top out around 40,000 in theory. Not to mention, Solana also used a fairly novel idea called proof of history to verify transactions and give rewards to the right verifiers. Proof of history is a pretty cool idea because essentially what it did is, looking at the time it took to verify transactions and looking at when they occurred, it's essentially able to say, okay, well, this person was first, so their transaction will be rewarded, then the second person's, and then the third. And to date, from its all-time low to right now, it's up 153 times. Its transactions actually are that fast. And its transaction fees are incredibly low. I mean, near zero. It has the same functional applications as other layer ones, like Ethereum, meaning that there are decentralized and centralized exchanges on it. There are NFT marketplaces, other DeFi applications, etc. The list really does just go on and on. It also has a lot of users. So just to wrap things up here and kind of summarize things down, what really makes a layer 1 blockchain project valuable in the long run, and some characteristics you can look at? Well, just follow the money. If people are investing in an application and they're actually using those layer 2 and layer 3 solutions built on top of it, it's going to be a winner in the long run. And likewise, people can kind of talk all day about how it's a great buy right now and it's only going to go to the moon from here. But unless there are applications people use and want to use, the foundation doesn't mean anything, right? The house is only valuable if people want to live there. And that's what I'm going to leave y'all with. Now, next week, we are going to be talking about some layer 2 solutions and characteristics you can look at to try and make a good buck over there. But until next time, guys, I've been Chris Cornaros for another episode of Crypto Decrypted. Hope y'all stay cryptocurrent.